So we notice with this f of x function, to graph it, we are looking at a quadratic equation. It's in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So there's a couple of tricks to doing the vertex. We now have a formula for that. We still want to ask ourselves, is the parabola going to open up or is it going to open down? And I noticed that there's a minus out in front. So what that tells me is it's going to open down. So I'm going to go ahead and just draw a little line that I know it's supposed to look something like this. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to be able to find the vertex. And so it says the vertex for my x is going to be minus b over 2a. So minus b, so that's going to be minus 4 over 2 times minus 1, which is minus 4 over minus 2, which is just going to be 2. Now, I have to find f of that value to find out what y is. So I'm going to get the opposite of 2 squared plus 4 times 2 plus 1, and that's going to give me minus 4 plus 8 plus 1, and that's going to give me 5. So my vertex is going to be at 2, 5. Now, what else do we need to find? Well, we really would like to have some x-intercepts and some y-intercepts. So what I want you to do is I want you to find your x-intercepts and your y-intercepts. Stop the video and then come back and check and see if you got the right answer. So what I want you to do is I want you to look through and make sure that the answers that you got for your x-intercepts and your y-intercepts match those that I have here. You may want to pause the video so you can check your work and see if it resembles mine. What I want to do now is I'm actually going to graph this parabola. And in order to do that, I am going to have to clear off the screen. So if you need any of the information that's currently on the screen, please make sure that you take it down or that you do rewind the video so that you can find it again. So what I've left on the screen is the vertex, all of the intercepts, and I've also actually converted the ones with the square root, so they're approximations of x values, so they're going to be easier for us to find on the graph itself. I've also already plotted the vertex and where it crosses the y. So now what I want to do is I want to do where it crosses the x-axis. So these are going to be approximations. You want to try to get them as close as you can, but you know it's not going to be a guarantee that it's going to be exactly the same depending on what the scale is. So I've also got one at minus 0.2 and 0. Now, one thing that we haven't quite discussed a lot about yet is the axis of symmetry. And if you recall from your reading, the axis of symmetry is whatever your value for x is. So in this case, I have x equals 2. Now remember, if it's going to be an axis of symmetry, when x equals 2, that's actually a vertical line. So on x is 2, I'm going to go ahead and draw this gross green line so that we can see this is going to be our axis of symmetry. What does that mean? That means that's where the reflection occurs. If you remember, we talked about reflections before, and now we're going to actually apply that a little bit more in detail. So what I want to do is I'm going to try my hardest to make this look pretty, and I'm going to come down on this side, and then I'm going to come down on the right and come through that point. And if it's done exactly right, it's a mirror image. So mine still is a little funky, but you get the idea. It does open down. We've got all of our intercepts, and so this is what it would look like for your final answer.